pointed out. "Shut up, Mateo," Ryland snapped. "Look, Heller, I'm fine to work tomorrow. You don't even have to pay me overtime." He swallowed at the look Axel shot him. "Or at all. I'll make up for my mistake." But Axel had already made up his mind. "Get out. Everyone go home. I'll see you Monday." He knew Ryland had been trying to help, but the guy kept messing up and putting them behind. If Ryland wasn't so skilled at sanding and refining, as well as having an incredible eye for detail, Axel would have fired him by now. But with Kelly out for another month, dealing with some family issues, he had to admit they needed all the help they could get. Instead of relaxing tomorrow, Axel would have to come in on his day off and fix the mess. He knew what the Escalade needed, and sadly, it wasn't as if he had anything better to do with his time. The crew departed, Ryland still trying to apologize as Mateo tugged him out the door. Smitty paused by the exit, his red mohawk like a stream of fire. Full of muscle and tattoos, he looked like a bruiser, but was one of the calmest, nicest guys Axel knew. "I'll swing by to help you with the SUV." Because Smitty knew Axel would fix the issue himself. Axel grunted. Smitty grinned and left without another word. Axel leaned against a workbench and stared at his pride and joy, a paint and auto body shop he'd put together without help from anyone. He scrubbed his hands over his face, wondering if the whiskers should stay or go. He'd been too busy to care about keeping his cheeks smooth, and with his constant visits to Stuttgart, Germany, helping his aunt and cousins as best he could, he'd been slacking off from the business. The grief always sitting under the surface welled up, threatening to drown him in it. Taking deep breaths, he forced himself not to think about the past. Instead, he dwelled on the living, and on one particular individual he found fascinating. The cement floor blended with the whitewashed walls as thoughts of fine-as-hell Rena Jackson intruded. He heard himself sigh and flushed, glad the guys weren't around to see him acting like a lovesick moron. He'd fallen hard for the stubborn woman from the first. But smart chick that she was, she wanted nothing to do with him. He thought they'd become kind of friends. After all, he considered her nice cousin a friend, and her other one, the she-wolf with attitude, well, if not a friend, then a colleague of sorts. They shared the same paint specialist, though the she-wolf did tend to hog him at her repair shop more than she should. Something he'd once again take up with her as soon as he got a minute to more than breathe. Hell, he needed a break. One beer couldn't hurt, and it had been a while since he'd been at Ray's. He ignored the secret hope that lingered, that he might see Rena there. 3 fallen dickheads later, Axel had worked off a decent head of steam in the bar's parking lot, much to the entertainment of the crowd who'd gathered to watch. He'd also won $50 and beers on the house. Ray, the owner of Ray's Bar, shook his head as he stared down at a bunch of racist pricks who'd already been kicked out once for being racist pricks. "I catch you here again," Ray said to Fletcher and his asshole buddies moaning on the ground. "There won't be enough of you left for anyone to identify. Now fuck off before I let Earl and Big J do what they've been wanting to all night. Axel was just a warm-up." It wasn't as if Ray didn't still have some fight left in him. A retired boxer, he had the fists and face of someone who'd fought too many rounds. The fists looked like he'd won most of them, but his face suggested he lost more than a time or two. Behind Axel, the bar's bouncers waited with shit-eating grins. Trouble, these two, but they liked Axel taking care of their business. They had enough to handle with all the... What had Rena lovingly called the clientele? Riffraff in the place. Fletcher stood with help from his seedy friends and shot Axel the finger. "Your ass is mine. I won't forget this dickhead." Axel just stared, not saying a word, and waited for the idiots to limp away. Funny that Fletcher couldn't seem to recall he'd been the one to start the fight. Axel hadn't even stepped a foot out of his truck before Fletcher had been in his face. The dumbass was apparently trying to make up for getting walloped a few months ago. Axel turned, praying his favorite person in the world really...